Okay, good afternoon, everyone. My name is Nakawesa Alice from Touch Africa Development Organization, and I work as a gender specialist and protection. I'm here as a chair for the interim committee for the Women-Led Network, and I congratulate everybody who has managed to participate in the launch of the 16 Days of Activism today. Our theme today, our theme for this year is Take Action, Be Accountable, End Violence Against Women and Girls Now. Today we gather here as the Women-Led Network to read a press statement on the day we are launching and commemorating the 16 Days of Activism. We thank everybody who has been part of the contribution, either morally, technical, and physical. So our statement goes like this as the network. We gather here today to commemorate and call for immediate action as we mark the start of the 16 Days of Activism. On November 25th is the day of elimination of violence against women and girls. This day also reminds us of our roles and responsibilities in action to end violence and injustices. The South Sudan Women-Led Network pool joins the rest of the world in commemorating the country's 16 Days of Activism under the theme, Take Action, Be Accountable, End Violence Against Women and Girls Now. The 16 Days of Activism Against Gender-Based Violence is an international campaign to end violence against women and girls. It was inspired by the first Global Women Leadership Institute, which was held in 1991 by the Center of Women Global Leadership. The annual campaign runs from November 25th, the International Day for the Elimination of Violence Against Women, to December 10th, which will be the International Human Rights Day, which commemorates the Universal Declaration of Human Rights. There are important dates during this campaign to raise awareness on various social issues that affect the full potential of women and girls in our society. These include the International Women's Human Rights Defenders Day, which happens on November 29, World AIDS Day on December 1st, International Volunteer Day for Economic and Social Development on December 5th, and the anniversary of the Montreal Massacre on December 6th, which is the National Day of Remembrance and Action on Violence Against Women in Canada. The women, as we commemorate the 16 Days of Activism, Women's Rights Organization Pool has achieved part of its objective, and these include advocacy on justice, protects under social violence among women and girls, advocacy trainings on women, advocacy trainings to women in leadership, to adopt and implement women's rights policies, economic empowerment. This includes training of women and girls on livelihood skills, and linking women to markets, to the market centers. Training on village/community, savings and loan skills, civic engagement, creating awareness on public information, on reproductive health and information sharing, improving institutional capacity, trainings on coaching and mentorship of women leaders, and the women-led networks on setting up of structures, monitoring, and quarterly appraisals within their organizations. The Women's Rights Organization Network calls upon the donors, therefore, partners, women rights activists, and sympathizers to make an urgent commitment and take action to provide flexible funding to the network and recognize their roles and contributions as first responders during times of crisis. During this time of COVID-19 crisis, the rate of violence against women and girls, both physical and psychological, has doubled, with other challenges including the natural disasters like floods and other environment challenges. Therefore, this year, the South Sudan Women-Led Network Pool comes together to commemorate the Day of Activism through radio talk shows, dialogues, mentorship for young women, visit to prisons, awareness in schools and IDP camps, and finally, the National Symposium on Women, Peace and Security. This activity will bring together women from Pariang, Wau, Torit, Bor, and Juba to create platform for women to dialogue and build synergies to enhance collaboration and create awareness on National Action Plan on women, peace and security. Across the country, women rights organizations will carry out various activities such as dialogues with women leaders, awareness campaign in schools and IDPs, visit to prisons and radio talk shows on issues of women and girls' rights and gender-based violence, dialogues with policymakers on a joint approach to addressing gaps in the legal frameworks, and community awareness rising to prevent and stop gender-based violence. The South Sudan Women-Led Network encourages media outlets, stakeholders, and the general public to support the advancement of women's rights in South Sudan throughout the campaign and beyond. On this note, the partners for the Women Rights Network include Touch Africa Development Organization, Hope Restoration, Women for Change, CHADA, FIDA, YWCA, OCO, AIWE, AWHO, SVVCO, RAO, YWCA, HASI, and HACICOD. With this, we thank you very much, and we hope that action will be taken as the theme, Orange the World, Take Action, Be Accountable, End Violence Against Women and Girls. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. Just a question.
Yeah.
You talk about violence that is being happening to women and girls. Yeah. So, in brief, what are these kind of violence that's affecting women and girls in the Republic of South Sudan?
The violence that is affecting women and girls in South Sudan include sexual violence, harassment, child marriages, and denial of social rights within the society, to mention but a few.
As the women-led organizations coming together to fight all this violence against women and girls in South Sudan, can you manage to fight it alone, or are there some stakeholders that you are looking into to fight this together, and who are they?
We cannot work on this because it's a big task. We come here as a pool to join efforts and link and identify donors or partners, actually working together with the government and other networks globally and national partners to fight together in influencing policies that are focusing on women's rights and governance, to mobilize funding to raise awareness on women's rights, to end violence, social violence, like denial of resources and distribution of power within the community. So as a network, we are looking for donors, and we cannot stand alone as the network. That's why we are here today, to build synergies and to enhance those who are in the systems, to help us and voice out our information as we are here today to start up the campaign of the 16 Days of Activism, as we are looking forward to achieve our goal. Thank you.
Anything?
Oh yeah.
Any questions?
I'm just looking at these achievements that achieved according to the section here
Yes.
on advocacy on gender justice. What are those tangible points or tangible impacts that people have? I mean, what are the tangible impacts that people have achieved on the advocacy on gender justice?
The tangible impact. The tangible impact is change of attitude. Change of attitude. When we are doing advocacy, like in terms of giving awareness to children school-going children about GBV or their rights of GBV, we are changing attitudes towards the community. We are changing attitudes towards stakeholders to treat women and girls fairly, and we are influencing them to know their rights and act, and that is a gradual process, so we are still in the process. Yeah.
What are the triggers of this violence against women and girls in South Sudan? What do you think trigger this violence?
For women?
Yes. What are the causes?
Ignorance of they don't know. Some girls don't know their rights. That is one. So they are abused because they are ignorant about their rights. Some are abused because there is abuse of power. Okay. Some leaders abuse their power, or somebody or a caretaker can just take advantage of a child because the caretaker doesn't know that maybe what he's doing is an act of violence. Okay, so even the stakeholders or the leaders, they also they are not aware of what they are doing. So the awareness is covering everybody. So the triggers is abuse of power, and some of them abuse power unknowingly, but some abuse power knowingly.
Do you think South Sudanese cultures affects women in South Sudan when coming to violence and that are committed against women and girls?
Barely, because South Sudan has some positive or good cultural norms and practices, but again there are some few which are negative or they are harmful, and which can take time or which can be eradicated, or can be, if they are given awareness, the cultures can change gradually. Okay, there should be a better approach in the community of dealing with things. If I take an example of if a woman is not allowed to work and is staying home, okay, this is something that can be changed if you give awareness to the husband that if she works, she will contribute something to the community or to the household. Okay, so that is harmful, but it can change. Yeah, so I agree. I don't agree that South Sudan cultures and norms cannot change. They can change, of course.
Okay. Finally, what could be your message to women and girls in the Republic of South Sudan in order to fight for their right, even if the women-led organizations are not there?
First of all, as a woman, you need to believe in yourself, you need to know your rights, and you have to stand to fight for your rights. Even when the women-led network is not there, maybe to attend to you, you need to know your self-worth. You need to know you are important, you are equal. What you can do is what a man can do. So you need to move forward. Whatever it happens to you, you need to move forward as a woman. They should not look back and look on themselves and minimize themselves in one way or the other, because we all contribute to the national cake. Yeah, thank you so much.